How do I recover from a binge? Wow, this is a big one. If you watch the video that I did that was entitled, I went over on my macros, now what? This is gonna be kind of similar, but there's something else going on here. In that previous video, what I had talked about was there's a couple different ways to handle your macros should you go over. Let's say you go over by 100 grams of carbs. You can, over the course of maybe the next 4 days, pull back on your carbs by 25 each day so that your weekly total averages out correctly. What I don't want you to do is go to the gym and work extra hard on the cardio and don't lift weights for 2 hours and don't think that you're gonna burn that fat off, or that's just getting into some self-punishment stuff. Now, that's if you go over. Now, if you actually have a binge, and I'm talking a proper binge, which, if we're honest, there's nothing proper about a binge. It's sabotage, it's self-destructive, it's self-punishment, it's harmful, and it has no place in your life. It deserves no place in your life. Self-harm, self-depreciation, and sabotage, those are things that this program and I devote my life to fighting against, right? I want everybody in my program to be happy. I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to be healthy. I recognize that we're human and life happens and we all have different issues. I'm a recovering drug addict. Spent the last 20 years clean and sober, working on issues to make me a better person. I prioritize self-care above self-destruction, above sabotage and punishment because I'm on the other side. If you're binging, there is a possibility, I cannot diagnose this, I'm not a doctor and I don't know you, this is a video, I'm talking to a camera right now, but there is a possibility that there is something greater, something bigger going on in your life. If the binge is a pattern, if it's a habit, if it's a sequence that has continued throughout your entire life, or even recently, if it's a pattern, it deserves, at a minimum, for honest reflection. If you are in a place where you find yourself binging, and I'm talking about going over on your macros intentionally, it might not feel intentional, but if you own it, if you own your behavior and accept responsibilities for your actions, you have to accept the consequences because running from them is only going to make things worse. So what most people do is they binge because they have some sort of emotional trauma, emotional situation from their childhood, from life that is lingering that they haven't dealt with, and then something stressful happens in their everyday life and they move towards food. They go to sweets, they go to salty, usually it's sweets, they go to ice cream, they go to foods that make them feel good, that comfort them, that give them some sort of sense of peace because it tastes good. It's no different than the drug addict getting high or something like that. I'm not saying that is you. What I'm saying is if you find that there's any bit of you in that behavior, if you could identify with some of that, it deserves some attention and it deserves your reflection to see if it's accurate or not. If it's not, then don't wear it. If it's just a binge and you just went ham on some ice cream, and if you don't know, ham is hard as a mother, right? If you went hard on some ice cream just because you wanted to and you were just hungry, that is not a typical emotional binge. But for a typical emotional binge, yes, I do want you the next day, if you went over by 100 carbs and 50 fat, I want you to pull back slightly for the next couple of days just to recoup a little bit. What I don't want you to do is to beat yourself up. I don't want you to get caught in the cycle that so many people with anorexia do, and that is binge and then starve yourself, and then binge and then starve yourself, and then binge and then starve yourself over and over and over again. Just hit your macros and eat the food that you're supposed to be eating. Sorry. I'm not sorry, because you know what that is? That is my phone that goes off at 12:30 every day. And at 12:30, I have an alarm set that says self-care. And I have a few different ways that I take care of myself. I'm going to break the mold real quick. You see my crazy background, right? What you don't see is my chart that I have right here on self-care. How I take care of myself as a recovering drug addict. Primal squat, my muse, that is my meditation device. Use my rebounder 5 times. Use my momentum planner, my primal walk, and 5 affirmations. Right? This is how I keep track of myself care every day. I use that thing. And it helps me stay on track because I'm a recovering drug addict, because I have ADD, because I'm running a huge business, because I have a relationship that I love to nurture and maintain, because I value my life and the things I've created in my life. I practice self-care as hard as I can and I fight for every moment of it. And I want you to do the same. So if you find that you're the kind of person that is binging over and over and over again, you have bigger work to do. This is bigger than dieting. This is emotional, this is mental, this is spiritual, this is physical, this is social. There is a lot involved. And I'm going to suggest that you look into either either Overeaters Anonymous or a psychiatrist or psychologist or a therapist or a support group if it fits. If it doesn't fit, you don't have to worry about it, right? But you owe it to yourself to at least look at it if you see that there's a pattern there. The big thing that I don't want you to do is go up and down and binge and starve yourself and binge and starve yourself like so many people do. That is only perpetuating the cycle, right? How do I recover from a binge? It's not doing more cardio, and it's not reducing your macros, and it's not changing your macros. It's healing your heart. You're not recovering from a binge. You're recovering from a life of binges as a result of whatever trauma or abuse you suffered or whatever resentment you're holding on to. That is how you recover. By healing your heart and your soul and your spirit and giving your inner child exactly what they need to move forward as a productive and healthy adult. And it's complicated. It's not as simple as tracking macros. Yes, you should be tracking macros and you should be hitting them, but you also need to do other work if it fits, right? If this is not fit, you don't gotta wear it. But if it does, I want you to look at it. If you have questions, reach out to us. We can point you in the right direction. I love you. Be well.